Now, I am a police officer in the United States of America, and I've been on patrol for just under 10 years. Everything I talk about on this channel are my own experiences and my own thoughts. Now, today, I want to discuss something that has been eating me alive for a long time. And it may sound ridiculous in the beginning, but hear me out. What is the difference between a crazy person and a person who is possessed? Now, for some context, I am a Christian male, middle-aged, and I was raised in a Protestant household. It doesn't matter what your religion is, I'm just laying a foundation here. I was raised to believe that God exists, that Jesus Christ is our Savior, and that we have a soul, and that when we die, we go to an afterlife. Now, I have never really been sure if there really is an afterlife. Now, everybody can put on a face, everybody can have a belief, and it doesn't mean it's rooted in any type of true belief. Now, I say that because I deal with the physical world on a daily basis. I deal with people with knives and guns and people who want to fight me and hurt other people, and I have zero issue with that. A 6'7", 400-pound person can come charging at me, and I have zero issue standing in front of him. But I have this weird, deep-rooted fear of ghosts, and I don't know what it is. My sister once told me that we had a ghost in our house in West Virginia, and it used to pace back and forth. And I always remembered being scared, but I never understood why. Now, she remembered this, but I don't remember it. Now, it's funny because this type of stuff has always been around me, but I was told by my wife that my uncontrollable fear keeps me shut off from this stuff. Now, it's funny because she herself hears and sees things. Now, you could say, oh, well, she's just crazy. But it's funny because my first wife, my ex-wife, she used to hear and see things too, like spirits and ghosts. And it's funny how we always attract the same type of people. Sort of like I fear death with a passion. Some people are comforted in the fact that there's an afterlife, but I fear death. I fear it so much it keeps me up at night, but I'm at a job where I could die at any moment. So it's kind of funny how we attract the things that we fear the most. Now, let's circle back around to what's the difference between a person who's possessed and a person who's crazy or with a mental illness. Now, it's funny because I have to reference a call that really brought this into my mind. There was a man. He stopped at a fire station in a pretty quiet part of town. And the fire department called us because he was suspicious, he was aggressive, and he just wasn't in his right mind. So instead of the fire department doing what they do, which should be treating people medically and maybe transporting them to the hospital, they called us because they're second responders. And we are the true first responders. So by the time I get there, this gentleman had already walked across the street. This person who may have been on drugs or may have been mentally ill walked across the street and into the gas station. Now, the medics followed the gentleman, and we followed suit, and we tried to contact him in the bathroom. Now, the manager of the gas station opened up the bathroom because this gentleman had locked the door, and this guy was sitting on the toilet with his pants down. Now, you could think to yourself, well, he was just using the bathroom, but that's not what was going on. In fact, here's where the strange part happens. Now, this gentleman's eyes, they would constantly roll back, but not in a standard sense of rolling up and back to where you see the whites of the eyes, but they would roll up and out. Sort of like if you've ever seen the movie It with Pennywise. He rolls his eyes sort of up and out, and that's sort of what this gentleman was doing. Not just that, but he was also shoving toilet paper into his throat. in an attempt to choke himself. And I don't know if he knew what he was doing, because he wasn't really responding to us when we tried to talk to him. And not just was he trying to shove toilet paper in his throat, but then he'd reach up with his hands and he would grasp at his Adam's apple extremely aggressively. And as we were trying to communicate with him, the only thing he did was like groan and moan at us. And then when we reached out and touched him, he would snap out of it, and then he'd go back into it. Now, after this call was said and done, after we were able to get him up in handcuffs, get the toilet paper out of his throat, and we were able to secure him on a medic gurney, strapped down, and he was taken to the hospital, I really started to think about this. I really did. It's very easy when you live in a physical world where you deal with physical evidence. And for a long period of time, when I dealt with this physical world here at work, I started to lose my spiritual sense, because the more you see death, the more you begin to wonder if there really is something else, or if that's it. So when I started to step back and look at this from the outside, I began to think just how easy it is to write people off as, oh, they're just crazy, or they're just on drugs. But really, are they? If there is a God, if there are demons out there, if there are bad spirits, ghosts, things that can possess us, how would we ever know if that person was possessed, if they weren't just on drugs? Now, it makes me wonder just how many people, if there truly are evil entities out there that can possess us, that can take over. It makes me wonder how many times I've come across these people. It makes me wonder if I've truly been face to face with evil and just I haven't known it. I've written it off as this person is crazy. It makes me wonder if I open myself up spiritually, if I'll see it more, or am I just grasping at straws? You let me know down in the comments what you think. Now, as I start to think about it more and more, my wife has told me in the past that she has felt like I have brought home darkness. She's woken up before and she's seen a black entity while I'm sleeping sort of fly around my area and then disappear. So she thinks that sometimes when you're faced with evil, you can bring the evil home. And I don't know if I've done that. So this is just a little bit of me thinking out loud. And I'd really like to know what you guys think about this. Do you think there really are demons or evil entities out there that can possess us? Do you think it's interesting the fact that it's human nature to write off anything spiritual, especially in 2020? It's very easy to write things off as this or that and disregard thousands of years of writing when it comes to the spiritual nature of humanity. So again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. I got a video that I'm gonna try to release every week, if not twice a week. And if you like this type of comment, leave a comment. And if you'd like more stories of actual police work, let me know. I have thousands of them coming. Guys, you really don't realize the most exciting job I've ever had has been to be a police officer. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.